Good afternoon. I'd like to call the City of Muskego Landfill Standing Committee to order. It's 5:04. And could we have the roll call, please?
Abby Lipke.
Here.
Patrick Murray.
Here.
Mark Slocum. Absent. Scott Kowalski.
Here.
Harvey Schweitzer.
Here.
Alderperson Eileen Madden. Absent. Greg Burmeister. Absent. Roland Kiefer.
Here.
Joe Spear Jr.
Here.
Recording Secretary Scott Krager. Here. GFL Environmental Representatives Daniel Otzelberger.
Here.
Chad Siegel.
Here.
Based on the roll, we have a quorum present at this meeting.
Thank you. Statement of public notice.
This meeting was properly noticed in accordance with the opening meeting laws of the state of Wisconsin.
Excellent. Thank you. First order of business is open forum. It's an opportunity for any member of the public to speak. Please give your name and your address. And is there anyone that would like to speak? Good. Okay. We do have another opportunity at the end towards the end of the meeting as well. Compliance officer report, please.
So I have, yep, it's me. I have two reports this evening because it's it's the second meeting of the year, but it's the first meeting to have the year-end audits put together. My first report is the quarterly. So we have had, my apologies, we have had 12 audits since the last meeting on the 8th of January. I'm sorry, on the 4th of January. The landfill has predominantly been excavating. Their tonnage has been between 17 and 1900. And we being the committee, my apologies, the committee allowed for nighttime excavation. And that has nicely brought them up to about 70% complete in excavation. Be very clear, not complete in construction, but in excavation. The really nice thing to look back on is when we looked at the landfill's excavation in January, they were barely at 40.
Good. Anything else you need to add?
Not as far as the quarterly goes.
Okay.
For the annual, all the audits have been compiled. The secretary's been given the required paper copy, and the secretary and the landfill have been given a digital copy. In the annual report, I was just discussing with Chad, the only negative comment I have that is carried forward is there is erosion on the north side of phase 4. Yeah, it's not down to the liner. It's not an action item. It's just a continued comment. The landfill roads are breaking up. Again, it's not an operational issue for the committee to be concerned of. They are plugging away on the construction at the end of the year and working on finishing up the waste elevations for phases 3, 4, 5, and 6. Since they all overlay, they are all now, at the end of the year, you see that they're all the numbers are coming back as places where the working phase was. So, and it's 52 audits covered in 7 pages of summary and the entirety.
So with the overlay, we're now just finishing it up again?
Well, yeah, finishing it up final.
Okay.
So when they reach waste grades, they hope to have the excavation done, and they'll be after placing the fluff layer, which is the bottom, they'll be placing the new waste on what's the west slope of phase 7 right now. They'll be working up that. They'll be peeling back the soils, they'll be placing the waste, and that area is called an overlay.
Okay. Good. Any questions from the committee? Okay, status of projects, clay extraction.
So, as Joe said, really the only clay extraction that's ongoing at the facility right now is tied with the cell construction. We've had some requests for third party to come in and take additional material, but again, our focus is on the cell construction, and with the volume of traffic that generates with the contractor, we're not interested in this point in time in allowing third party to do any additional removal of material back there. So that may change the second half of the year. But for now, it's really the focus of the cell construction.
Do you have a lot of calls for clay?
Occasionally, yeah. The people are looking for clay for backfilling projects or backhauling the projects and stuff. But to date, we've kind of held back on that because of the amount of activity associated with cell construction.
Great, thank you. MMSD project?
Yeah, our deliveries have been improving. January was a little bit of a tough month because of the cold weather and some of the snow and those types of things. But in February and March, we've kind of ramped up to our normal delivery of about 80% to the district. So our run times in February and March have been very good, and we're seeing that again here in April. So most of the downtime really in March was the district themselves, limiting our delivery to them, and right now we're in full delivery mode to the district when they'll take it.
Great, thank you. Electronics recycling?
Yeah, I mean, as the weather has warmed up, so has the volume of people and the volume of material coming in as part of the residential drop-off. And we continue to manage that, and I think we do a pretty good job of keeping that area orderly, with the boxes being cleaned out about every other week or so.
Good. Well testing?
Yeah, on the well testing, the letters were sent out in, I think they were dated January 30th, but they went out early February to everybody. And there really were no issues either with the sampling effort themselves or the results of the data that came into the various homeowners. So we've really had no follow-up with any of the 35 residents. And so I think we're in pretty good shape there.
No anomalies?
No anomalies, no.
Great.
No.
Plan modification issue?
Yeah, the only plan mod was we received a plan modification approval in March where we did look at revising some final grades at the site that gave us a little bit of additional volume. Didn't change our footprint per se in terms of where we're currently operating with our active fill area, but it did allow us to increase a slope on the east side a little bit that gave us a little bit of additional volume. It does give us just a little bit of relief on the back end with our concerns of running out of airspace, but it's not any significant timeline, maybe a couple of months. But, you know, that doesn't really change our need to get the cell done in this construction season. So other than that, there's no other pending plan modifications with the department.
Does it look like you're on schedule for excavation?
Yeah, I mean, I just received an updated schedule late this afternoon. And yes, I mean, as of right now, the mass excavation is scheduled to be completed in May, which would allow us to move into, you know, the clay liner, the geosynthetics, and the real liner construction. And right now, the target is still to have it completed in early October. And then there, like I said, there's the process of submitting a construction documentation report. We are getting a new DNR representative for the site.
Oh, good.
So what I think would normally be a two-week review by the experienced DNR review engineer is probably going to take a little bit longer. I'm hoping not too much longer, but until we kind of get to the end of the project, we really won't know. But we will certainly try to work hand in hand with that review engineer to try to get a timely review.
Great, thank you.
Yep.
property protection, sociological?
Yeah, nothing has come in terms of potential sale of properties that would initiate the property protection plan. So nothing there. The sociological payments were made in the middle of January. As far as I know, I'm sure I would have heard otherwise. Everybody received their payment. The issue that we've had in the past with the 1099s, that has gone much better with only a few isolated issues, not the widespread issues that we were having in the past. So I think we're in pretty good shape there.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And household hazardous waste?
All right, I passed out 2 reports to the committee. The top report with more numbers on it, that's our 2023 annual recap. The bottom report is just a year-to-date for 2024. So I'll start first with our 2023 recap. Just real quick summary, it was another successful year. In total, we spent just over $306,000 on hazardous waste collections, and that was just over 4,000 users of our 3 permanent sites and 4 special one-day collection events. We continue to field questions about hazardous waste disposal and general material management. So through our estimates, my staff just told me this morning that we took about 273 phone calls related to the program in 2023. And then we, of course, continue to offer hazardous waste programming, education, and outreach embedded with the rest of our offerings. Moving then to 2024 year-to-date, I'd just like to make a note that this only includes January and February data, as we have not yet received March reports. But so far, we've had 179 users at our Menominee Falls site, and in just 2 months, we've collected over 6,000 pounds of waste from our residents. New this year, we've had much more interest in our ag and VSQG programs. So in 2023, we did not have a single request for that. And to date, we've had 3 ag requests in 2024 and 1 VSQG. At the last meeting, you may remember that I talked about the notice we had received from GFL regarding closure of the site at the landfill. When we received that notice, I reached out to Vernon, Big Bend, Muskego, and New Berlin to see if there was any possibility to host a site at one of their municipal buildings, and unfortunately there wasn't. So from there, I reached out to the Waste Management Landfill in Franklin. They indicated that there's likely some space for us. So since our last meeting, I did go and tour the facility. It's a great spot. Right now, their legal team is reviewing an agreement from Veolia, and we're just hoping to get that through the next phase. So my hope is that the next time we meet, that I might be able to share a more substantial update and seek approval to use that site.
Are they looking at that building right on 45?
Correct. So it's right across the street from where we were collecting at GFL.
What kind of time schedule are you looking at?
For approval of that, I'm hoping to have that happen in the next month or so. Their legal team is very risk adverse, so it's been taking some time to get that through legal.
It looks like we're getting a few more participants this year over last year.
Yes, yes.
Questions from the committee? Thank you very much. New business.
I got a question or two.
Sure.
One, I'd like to thank the landfill for picking up on Highway 45. Done a pretty good job of getting all the windblown trash picked up. And then I'm curious on the leachate collection tank. I seen a truck that looked like he was possibly taking liquid out of there. Is that tank filling?
Yeah, no, what was happening there is we were taking material from our future Parkland landfill, the closed landfill, and there's a drop point there for it to be commingled, so to speak, with the landfill leachate coming from the active facility so that it eventually gets discharged to the offsite force main, just like the onsite leachate.
Okay, so that's how you get rid of
Yeah,
future Parkland.
yeah, it just
Okay.
mixes with the onsite leachate.
Very good.
Okay.
Anything else?
Up until they stopped taking liquids, the future parkland liquid is collected and taken up to the top of the landfill. So it was added just like the recirculation was.
Okay. And that seems to be working well?
Yeah, I mean, the process now with being able to kind of tanker it and that drop point seems to be working just fine, yep.
Excellent. Any other new business? Continuing business. I know you touched on some of it, but can you?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we're still on schedule, but certainly the last couple of weeks has not helped. So our you know, the little bit of wiggle room that we had in that schedule has tightened up a little bit. But like I said, with the forecast that we've kind of seen for the next couple of weeks, being a lot drier than we've had in the last 2 weeks or so, we're hopeful that that we'll kind of get back on schedule and being able to meet that schedule of having that excavation done, you know, sometime mid to late May. And then we would roll, like I said, right into the other phases of the
How much
construction.
negative effect has all this rain had on you?
Well, last week was pretty much a total washout for us, so there was really no material moved at all last week. Most of the other weeks we've been able to, you know, work a couple of days at least during the week. But like I said, last week was pretty much of a complete washout. And I know I saw some dozer activity going on today, so I assume they're getting geared up to begin the hauling activities again.
Okay. All the schedules seem to be working well.
Yeah, yep, it is.
Other business, review of payments made from the committee funds. Have you had a chance to review? Any questions? None appearing. We'll move on to confirm the next meeting date, which is the annual tour and meeting at the landfill, July 8th, 4 p.m.
Is that, with the tour, is there going to be a number to contact as to how many people are going to show or how the committee's going to respond? Because you need to get transportation.
Right, yeah, so, yeah, any heads up we can get as to the number of people that would be interested in taking that tour. If we have roughly a week's worth of notice, we can make the proper accommodations for transportation on that day.
It's before the RNC, so vehicles should be available.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Last item is citizen commentary. Any member of this public wish to speak at this time? Yes,
Did we have a sign up for that tour thing?
I'm sorry?
Did we have a sign up for that?
So for the tour, if you have that date, just show up at 4 p.m. and at the landfill, and then we'll accommodate you. All right?
But if you could let us know you're coming,
Yeah.
because this is not a walking tour. So we need enough space and vehicles to,
So would they contact the landfill or would they contact City Hall? That's what he's asking.
I would,
Just take his name and number. at the
yeah,
end.
we'll take your name and number. I'll get it on. You signed up. I'll account for you two coming. Does that sound good? Two?
Am I son in there or not?
Yeah. 3. I will account for 3. Okay, you're on the list too? Not a problem.
so just make sure your name and,
Yeah, I got all the names.
Contact information?
Yep.
good. Any other questions? Comments? Motion to adjourn?
Second?
Moved and seconded, we adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned at 5:23. Thank you.